Hi everyone, and welcome to this demo session of the newly launched CellaVision Bone Marrow Aspirate application. And thank you for joining us today. Bone Marrow Aspirate application is very essential for diagnosing and monitoring many serious blood disorders. But as many of you know, it can be very complex, time-consuming, and it's highly dependent on specialized expertise. At CellaVision, we are changing that. We are turning aspirates into answers by setting a new standard for bone marrow morphology built on our proven expertise within the digital cell morphology area. With our bone marrow aspirate application, we are bringing AI-powered digital morphology into the bone marrow analysis and helping laboratories work smarter, more consistently, and with greater confidence. My name is Elina Bergskans, and during this demo today, I will show you how we do this. First, we will look at how the application improves workflow efficiency by digitalizing and streamlining the analysis with AI-assisted pre-classification. Secondly, we will explore how to standardize this process and how it can be used to support diagnostics confidence. And finally, we will see how it helps elevate the bone marrow morphology expertise through collaboration between your sites and your knowledge sharing between your lab and networks. So with that said, let's get started and take a closer look at how the application works. The bone marrow aspirate application, it comes with 3 different analysis modes: the automatic, the semi-automatic, and the manual mode, all designed for you as a user to get the analysis you feel suits your lab the best. For automatic mode, that is intended for slides where very little user interaction is needed or wanted. Using AI, the analyzer will find the particles on the smear and choose the region and areas and perform the pre-classification of the differential cells using artificial intelligence. So the user basically puts the slide in, press start, and will be presented with the results and can review that. For our other 2 modes, semi-automatic and manual, the user is giving a bit more flexibility in terms of what areas or what regions the analysis shall be performed. In semi-automatic mode, we use AI to find the regions, but the user will choose the area themselves for where the differential shall be performed. And in manual mode, that gives full flexibility for the user. You choose both the regions and the areas of where the analysis shall be performed. So let's jump over to the application and take a look at how it works. When you log into your bone marrow aspirate application database, you will appear in the order manager. And in the order manager is where all your process slides will appear. You can choose to sort and filter in this list for easier review. For example, you can choose from a drop-down and sort and filter on specific analyzers or specific labs. On the top left corner, you have the total number of unsigned slides in your database that needs review. When you mark a slide in your list, you will see the detailed information about this order on the right-hand side: analysis date, patient information, and also how many analyses the order consists of, and the preliminary results. As you can see here, we have run 3 different analyses on the same order, and I will choose to review the first one on top here by clicking on the arrow. When you open up an analysis, you will always get again the order detail for this slide on the left-hand side this time. And this panel has been made dynamic so you can hide it for easier review of your images and areas. This slide has been run in the automatic mode, so we will be presented with a low resolution scan of the entire preparation. And here we show what regions and what area around the particles have been used for the differential results. The differential areas in each region you can review, and you will see what region you are reviewing up here, and then the areas chosen within that region. And these images are captured in 100x magnification. For closer look, you can double click and magnify the areas for better review. And then you can click on the different regions from the low resolution image here and review the different areas as you see fit. When you are done with that, you move over to the differential tab. In the differential tab, here is where you will find all the individual cells that has been found for your differential. You can choose to review all included regions, or if you want to review the cells one region at a time. The analyzer automatically calculating the ME ratio for you, and this value is also dynamic, so when you are reclassifying cells within these cell lineages, this value will be recalculated. We are categorizing the cells into different lineages: erythroid, myeloid, lymphoid, but also other cells and artifacts. So when you are reviewing your cells, you can scroll through the different galleries. If you want to review something more in detail, you can double click on an image and you can see the area in where they have been found. You can choose to scroll through all the galleries, or you can choose to click from the list, and then you will automatically be taken to those cell classes. If you find a cell that is dysplastic, you can right click and choose tag as dysplastic, and then those cells will be marked with the red frame. If you look at the cell class list on the left-hand side, we are calculating the number of dysplastic cells, but also the ratio of the dysplastic cells for each lineage. If you have old results for the patient you are reviewing in your database that are signed out, you can choose to compare old results to the current one. Up on the right, we have a compare function. If I click on that, I get an information about old analyses on that same patient that can be found in my database. I choose which ones I want to compare to, and I click compare. I will then be prompted with the images from that result, the signed out differential results, and the order detail. And I can then choose to hide these panels as well, so I get more room for my images and can compare them to the current slide I am reviewing. And when I feel that I'm done with that, I can close my comparison and I'm taking back to the review I have ongoing. For easier collaboration, you can add notes to individual cells. So if I right click on a cell image, I can add a cell note. These notes are not sent across to the LIS. This is an internal communication system. And I can type in a note to a secondary reviewer that what I need help with or what I want to add. I click save and the note will be visible underneath the cell image. We also recommend to use the color category functionality that can be found out in the Order Manager for easier collaboration and sorting between colleagues. And when I feel that I am done reviewing my cells and my slide, I can move over to my sign analysis. And here I will get a summary of a result of my numerical values, and I will also get images that I can add to the report from the differential view. We offer up to 4 different preliminary reviewers for easier collaboration, and then a final signature where the analysis and the result can be signed off and sent to your LIS or to your middleware. So that was a short introduction to our newly launched Bone Marrow Aspirate application. I hope you have enjoyed my demo session with you today, and thank you so much for watching.